Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Legacy of the Divine Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. Website at the bottom is llewellyn.com. Feel free to share, or feel free to check that out, share that, whatever you need to do if you want to. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Reisch-Baskin. Websites on the back here, torihartman.com, watkinspublishing.co.uk, or watkinspublishing.com. What do we have for Taurus? For a minute there, I thought, well, I did shuffle these, and you got good stuff coming out, but I'm just like, we got really good stuff coming out. What's happening? It just looks very similar to a couple other, I think both, well, was it, I just did Capricorn. I don't know if it's Capricorn that had all these changes. I want to say it was like Cancer or Scorpio, maybe. I don't know if that matters to you. If this hits Cancer or Scorpio, might too, just to be fair. Because something is changing, and I feel like, ironically, I don't think of Taurus as really liking change, but this time it's kind of like, okay, no, we can do that. I'm like, yeah, no, we can do that. This change is going to work to your benefit, because I feel like something's been unacceptable for a while, but even though it's been unacceptable, I think that's what's going to change. And it's not expected. I don't see it coming. I literally don't see it coming. The moon comes in like, why is it changing? Message comes, you got the Knight of Swords and you got the Moon card. Like, I don't understand what's happening or why, but it does need to change, so let's see what happens. And you got the Star card going to your favor, kind of like, things are like, I don't know, I feel like people are asking questions or saying things, and I'm like, why are they asking that? Or why is that happening? Or why are they doing that? But at the same time, I'm like, this situation is not good anyway, so I'm going to just step back and just kind of roll with it and see where it goes. Again, it's been unacceptable for quite a while, so the fact that it's changing, I'm like, I'm not going to fight to save it, because it's not right anyway. Whatever this is, it's kind of like, no, it needs to change, so I'm just going to step back and try to pay attention. But there's a lot of information flying around you, and it's kind of like, why did we say that? What's going on? Like, what? Some of it's confusing. Literally, and I'm going to, I got cards right there. Confusion is right there. There's definitely a little bit of a, somebody's poking the bear. You're not the bear. I don't think you're poking the bear either. So you're not the bear, you're not poking the bear, but you're knowing it's happening. But I feel like it's kind of like, wait, why are they doing that? Like, I feel like that's how I'm looking at this. Like, why are they doing that? I'm just gonna, all right, you go poke that bear. Hope you make it. Hope you live through it, because you don't really want to tease the bear, but good luck. Okay. And I'm just kind of holding back, and I'm just waiting to see how that plays out. I'm like, if they live through it, maybe I'll ask them why they did that. Maybe. Because that doesn't seem the smartest thing to do. Can we get more about this moment as it happens in front of Taurus? I feel like I'm kind of like, really? Like, you're gonna, okay, I guess you're gonna do that then. Seven of Fire, holding back negativity, and the Sun card. I'm not getting involved in this crap. I feel that you got the Sun card twice. You got it in the dice, and you got it in your cards. They're playing with fire. I hope they know what they're doing. I'm not going to get in the middle of it, but I feel like as this keeps happening, I'm liking that things are changing. I'm really liking that things are changing, and I'm just kind of like, I wouldn't do that, but okay. Okay. But you are conscientious. Let's be fair. You are conscientious. You're watching and you're questioning. Should I be involved in this? I don't want to be. But should I be? I don't want to be. But maybe I should, even though I don't want to. And I feel like I'm just kind of like conveniently, cautiously, just kind of like, do I really need to be involved in that? Maybe I'll just take my time. I'll gather information. That's what I'll do. I'll gather information and I'll see what happens next. I'm trying to give myself every excuse in the book to not be involved with this as it's falling apart or whatever's happening here. I think you're smart for doing that. I think that's the correct move. I don't think you need to feel bad about that, by the way. Some of you might. I don't think you should. I think holding back and just watching it is the smart move. And if you really need to do something, you will. I don't think you will, though. There's a lot of things from the past coming up with this situation, and it's just... It's random? How to explain this? Like, I feel like Taurus is very realistic. Like, the past is how we got where we are. You know? Which, and what we do now, plus the past, is going to define our future. Something like that. It's like, where we were is how we got where we are. And though where we were plus where we are is going to take us to our next step. We take what we've learned, we take what's going on currently, and we decide where we're going to be next. But the thing is, with the past in this situation, I think this is more of that, like, it's discombobulated. It's kind of like somebody talking about a dog they had when they were 5, somebody else talking about, you know, when they went to school at this other place, another person saying, well, I was married at this age, and it's kind of like, I feel like I'm looking at this going, who cares? Like, who cares? Like, who literally cares? There's a lot of random things going on here. People bringing up things that, like, why are they... I feel like, again, if you really want to know, you can get knee-deep in it and find out, but it's going to suck you right into it. I wouldn't bother. What these people are saying and they're dealing with, it does make sense if you get into it and find out the context of what's really going on. Like, oh, that's why. But if you get that deep into it, I feel like you get in the middle of something that you don't want to be in the middle of. So, I feel like the majority of you are going to avoid it, but for those of you who are like, you know, curiosity killed the cat, just keep that in mind. If you hear things and you're like, I don't understand why they're saying that, maybe it's better to just let it go. If you can, you decide what's right for you, obviously. Because I feel like there's something from the past that's being solved. There's blocks from the past that are being worked out. The thing is, all these things are over. All these things are done. And if you get involved in this conversation about the past, you might get yourself stuck in the past too. And it's going to make it that much harder to move forward. Don't do that to yourself. Do yourself a favor. Let them talk it out. If you don't get immersed in that conversation, it won't bother you. Because it's kind of like there's blocks from the past, things that are not going to get resolved. You know what I mean? Things that are just not going to get resolved. It's kind of like, you know, when you were 10, maybe you lost your favorite toy. It's gone. You're not going to get it back now. You could probably find a replica if you really want to, but it's like going back and going through that memory and thinking about that and all the things that were happening at that time. You're not going to get that toy back, and it's not going to make you feel good. I would say don't do it, but you decide what you got to do, because it seems similar to that. It's just going to drag you down. It's going to hold you in the past. It's going to make it harder for you to move forward. Cool. Because okay, you're going to... I feel like that's the next phase, to avoid getting stuck in the past. For whatever reason in this situation, the past doesn't seem to have answers for you, because the moon card was there, and I'm feeling like, well, it was the moon on the dice, but still, there's answers that you're not going to find them, and it will drive you nuts looking for them, until you get so exhausted that you just accept that you got to move on anyway. So going forward next, because I understand that's Taurus, you want to know why things happened, you want to make a plan, you want to be like, well, this is what happened that caused that, and this is how we ended up where we are. The information is not going to come your way, not the truth. And I feel like you're going to figure that out over time, because it's going to be like, well, A plus Q, wait, what? We're doing calculus now? Divided by 7.8 pi... It's like it gets really complicated. Then you're like starting to realize that Q is not really a number at all. That's just somebody threw that in there just to shut people up. And then A, you're like, what is A? I don't know. And then people are saying, I don't know what that is. You're not going to get the answers. the truth is not available here. I think that's part of it. I don't blame you for wanting it. I don't blame you for looking for it. I just feel like in this situation, I feel like we need to let go and move on to the next. Because somebody is not wanting people to know the truth, and they're using confusion to their advantage. Somebody is going to screw up the information purposely so people don't know what happened, because they don't want to be blamed for it. If you want to know that, that's really the bottom line. Somebody plans to get out of this situation without paying their dues for it, so they're making it as confusing as possible so people cannot point the finger at them because nothing makes sense, and they're purposely orchestrating it that way. Try to move forward with a good group of people that you like, and try to help yourself and them go forward as much as you can. Try not to get stuck in the past. There's a lot of lies going on here. It's just confusion. It's going to tick you off. You're not going to get the truth. In this situation, at this time anyway, but I feel like also, if I'm going to be really that little troll, which apparently I am, the more you ignore it and let it go, the less this person can create confusion, because I feel like somebody else is going to come in later and try to figure it out. So the less we take time with it, the less this person can do to hide what they did. If we just move on, they want to move on. They seem to be very open to that. It makes it a lot easier for whoever goes in there later to figure out what truly happened, because I do feel like somebody else will, but that's for somebody else at a different time. That's not for you, is what I'm getting. That situation is over. It is totally over. As you move forward into the future, you got the Queen of Pentacles. Don't get caught up in the gender, but I feel like you're just kind of like trying to make better decisions going forward, understanding that there's certain things that there's empty information that I don't like, but I'm just kind of like, I'm just making a special note. If there's certain situations where like, well, something went on there last time, but I don't have the information and what, I feel like you're just going to keep an extra eye on it, and you'll probably not only yourself, but you'll like highlight it to a couple other people you trust. Hey, we don't really know what went wrong over in this department over here last time, so I'm going to keep an eye on it, but please, if you could too, maybe we can just make sure that nothing goes bad there again. If we see something wonky, we can start checking on it immediately. That seems to be the more effective plan, kind of like we don't know what really happened, and I'm getting like you're not going to anyway, but going forward, we're just going to keep an eye on those trouble spots. Not that they're trouble-making spots, but that's where there was trouble. We're just going to keep an extra eye. I'm going to keep an eye on that, and I'm going to get a couple other people to try to keep their eye on it too. That way if something goes funky or starts to get a little off color over there, we can like get right over there immediately and make sure that it does not get out of control. That seems like the most effective plan going forward. Again, I totally respect wanting to go back to the past and figure out what went wrong, but when the past is being, riddled with lies and deceit, it's just not going to work in your favor. So this is seeming like, knowing that that's not going to work correctly, this seems to be the only way to actually effectively move forward as far as I can see. Alright, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.